Hello, namaste, and welcome, yogi, to your yoga flow for flexibility. If you're new here, my name's Maria, and I come out with new yoga videos every Sunday. Today's flow is going to be quick. It's going to be a little bit of a struggle if you don't have that much flexibility, like myself. This is something that I've been working on, so I am here to practice it with you today. We're going to begin lying on our backs. So come to a comfortable laying down position, and then let your knees fall wide, your soles of the feet come to touch. We're coming into a reclined Baddha Konasana. Let the knees fall wide to either side, let them relax. Nestle the shoulder blades underneath your heart space, underneath your chest. You can bring one hand to your belly and one to your chest, or you have the option to bring both arms up above overhead, grasping opposite elbow, providing a little stretch for your back as well. And we'll just take a moment here to tune in, bring your attention to yourself, to your body, and just pay attention to those subtle movements, those subtle feelings in today's practice. We don't want to go overboard and we don't want to overstretch. Start to slow down your breathing. Breathing in for 3 and exhaling out for 3. Release your arms back down by your sides. Grab the sides of your knees and push your knees back in towards center. You're going to take your right leg, cross it over your left leg, crossing that knee over the left leg, and then let your legs fall off to the left side. Gentle fall. Your right shoulder is grounded on the ground. Both shoulders are grounded and planted on the ground. Option to look over to your right hand, your right fingertips for a gentle twist here. Inhale, return back to center. Cross the opposite leg on top and turn over to your right side. Let the knees and the legs fall over to the right, and then look over to your left fingertips. Left shoulder is grounded here. Good, and then inhale back up to center. You're going to take your right ankle and place it over your left thigh, right below your left knee. Thread your arms around your left thigh and lift that left leg, left heel up to the sky, flexing your right toes back. We're getting a nice stretch here, maybe in the side hip, maybe throughout your hips and your psoas, and possibly through the left hamstring as well. Flex both toes back, push the heels up, and gently pull your knee, your left leg into your chest to stretch out a little bit more. Inhale and exhale, release that left sole of the foot to the ground. Lift that right leg straight up this time. Plant the left leg on the ground, so send it out straight in front of you onto the floor. And from here, you can grab onto the back of your thigh, your calf, your ankle, or your big toe. If you have a strap, you can use that as well. Let your left leg relax, your left foot relax. Flex the right toes back, send the heel up towards the sky. Keep a little bend in that right leg, that right knee, and then maybe just bend and straighten that leg a little, and just gently pull it, tug it back, getting a nice gentle stretch in your hamstring. Shoulders are grounded, hips are grounded, lower back is grounded. And now try to bring your right knee into your right armpit. From here, grab onto wherever you can grab. We're coming into a half happy baby pose variation, stretching out through that right hip, that right psoas. Make sure your shoulders don't leave the ground. Good, and then bend that right leg and put that right sole of the foot on the ground. Lift that left leg, bring that left ankle over top of the right thigh. Thread your arms and interlace your fingertips behind the right thigh. Gently pull your right thigh, your right leg back in as we stretch that outer left hip. Keeping your shoulders grounded on the floor. Toes are flexed back, send energy from that heel up to the sky. Good, and then release that right sole of the foot back onto the ground. Lift that left heel to the sky, left toes back towards your face. And then grab onto the back of your thigh, the back of your calf, or your toe here, or your ankle. Your right foot extends straight out, and it's relaxed. And you're going to just gently tug here, maybe bend and straighten the knee, and then gently pull that left leg back towards yourself, trying to straighten out as much as possible. And if you find yourself trembling, then maybe take it back a notch. And just breathe. Good, and then bend that left knee, take that left knee into the left thigh, and then your heels, your ankles stack on top of your left knee, coming into a happy baby pose on the other side. And then just breathe. Good, and release. Bring both knees into your chest. Squeeze your knees into your chest once. Roll on back, and then use that momentum to rock forward. You can do that a few times. Just maybe getting a nice little massage throughout your back and your spine, but if that's too much, then just gently roll up to seated position. We'll just take a moment here to return to our breathing. Take a big breath into your low belly. And then exhale to relax, release all the tension. When you're ready, we'll rock forward onto our hands and knees, moving into some cat-cows. Your wrists are underneath your shoulders, your knees stacked underneath of your hips. On the inhale, drop the belly, pull the shoulders away from the ears, lift the gaze. Inhale. And exhale to tuck the chin into the chest and send the tailbone down. Inhale, lift the gaze, drop the belly, drop the chest. Exhale, bend through that upper back, send the tailbone down, cat pose. Inhale, send the chest forward, send the shoulder blades back, send the shoulders away from the ears, tailbone up. Exhale, pull your navel up in towards your spine as you round through your upper back. And then a couple more times following your own breath. In your next inhale, return to neutral, and we'll drop our elbows where our hands were. Your hands are parallel to each other, shoulder width apart, and start to walk your knees back just a little until your forehead touches the ground and you find a nice little stretch through your upper back. So ideally your hips are over top of your knees, but that doesn't necessarily mean it has to happen today. Use your breath to connect and to help you stay stable throughout this intense shoulder stretching pose. Every exhale, try to drop your heart a little bit more towards the ground. Send the tailbone up high. We're opening up through the chest, opening up through the upper back. Lower back is pretty stable here. One more big breath in. And exhale to roll forward. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders again, returning to tabletop position. Tuck your toes under. Lift the knees. Inhale, stay strong in the core here. And then exhale to lift your hips up, downward facing dog. Take a moment here to pedal out the feet and find what feels good. Your knees can be a little bent here. Heels are actively reaching towards the floor. Hips high to the sky. Navel is pulled up and into your spine. Ears are by your elbows or your biceps. Your inner elbows are rotating towards the front of the room, or just that motion. And then make sure you're planted here through all 10 knuckles, especially that pointer finger, knuckle, and thumb. Ground down through that left heel, lift the right heel up high, keeping the hips square. Inhale, toes face down. Exhale, bring your knee in towards your chest, in towards your chin or your nose, and then step that right foot through in between your hands, closer to your right hand here. Feet are on 2 different railroad tracks. You can drop the back knee, untuck the foot, or you can keep the foot tucked under here. Inhale to reach your arms up, low crescent lunge, getting a nice stretch through the hamstrings. Maybe you feel a nice stretch through the psoas, through the left psoas here. Head stacks over top of the heart stacks over top of the hips, and maybe sink your hips down a little bit more. Bring your hands down to the ground. Tuck the left toe back, lift that back knee. Inhale, twist over to the right side of the room. Bring your right hand up to the sky as you twist your torso. One big breath in here, inhale. And exhale, release, return that right hand back to the ground. Drop that back knee again. And then this time, walk your hands back, straightening out through that right leg. Point the toes up and back, flex them back towards your face. Half splits here. Keep your back straight, maybe coming onto your fingertips. And we'll just take a few breaths in here. Roll on forward, untuck the back toe, curl the back toe under, step that right foot back, and lift your hips up for downward facing dog again. Pedal out the feet, and then once you're ready, you'll ground down through that right foot, lift that left leg up high, toes point down, hips are square, inhale, and exhale, knee to nose, and then step that left foot up and through your hands, closer to your left hand. Your feet are on 2 different railroad tracks, so maybe shimmy the foot out a little bit if you need to. You'll drop the back knee, untuck the toes, or you can keep the toes tucked under here, whatever feels best. Inhale to lift the arms up and over, head stacks over the heart stacks over the pelvis. And maybe you sink your hips down a little bit more, finding an even deeper stretch throughout that right psoas. Inhale, exhale, release your arms, hands to the ground. Plant your right hand next to your left foot. Tuck the toe under, lift that back knee. Inhale, lift your heart open to the left side of the room as you lift your left arm up to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, lower that left hand back to the ground. Lower that right back knee. Untuck the toe this time, and then walk your hands back as you straighten through that left leg. Toes point up. Ground your heel down into the mat. Inhale. Find length in the spine. Getting a nice stretch through the hamstring here, maybe the back left hamstring. And walk your hands forward, tuck the back toe, plant the left hand, send the left toes back to meet the right, and then lift your hips up for downward facing dog. One last time. Inhale. And exhale, bring your right knee into your chest. Plant it right in between both of your hands, right in the center. And then start to walk your hands over to the center, the long side of your mat. Pivot both toes to also point towards that long side of the mat. So you're now maybe facing what was the left or the right side of your mat. Your toes are going to come in slightly so that the outer edges of your foot are parallel with the mat. Inhale. And then exhale to fold over, maybe slight bend in the knees here. Try to have your ankles and your knees in line with your hips so your hips are not too far behind your feet or your ankles. Inhale, and then exhale, maybe to bend a little deeper. Try to send the crown of your head towards the floor, but keeping your back open, keeping length in your spine. Try not to overly round in your back. Inhale, halfway lift, fingertips come onto the ground, flat back. Plant that left hand right underneath your face. Bring your right hand onto your low back, and then start to pivot your torso. Make sure that you're keeping your low back stable. So just twisting through that upper thoracic spine, and then lift your right arm up to the sky. Your arm may be here or here, and that's totally fine. Just go to where your body allows you to move today. Don't force. Inhale. And exhale to return down back to center. Swap that right hand out. Take the left hand to the low back. Start to look over to your right side, and then keeping your low back stable, lift your left hand up to the sky. Inhale, and then exhale to release back down to the ground. Pivot your left foot 45 degrees out. So now the toes are pointing towards the corner of the mat. Your right foot is going to rotate up as we bend into that left knee. Ooh, and bring the hips down. So you might need to move your feet a little bit here. They may be a little bit too wide, but you can keep your heels high here. Keep your fingertips on the ground as we're stretching throughout our lower bottom half. This is stretching a lot. Stretching our hamstrings, our psoas, our hips. And then as we sink into it, you can drop your heel if that's accessible to you. And then option to also bring your palms to touch and bring them to heart center. Inhale, make sure your back is straight here, and we'll walk our hands over to the opposite side. So this time your right toes are pointing 45 degrees angle out, left toes are pointing up, you're bending into that right knee. Right heel stays up if you want it to, fingertips stay on the ground. Option to sink in as you drop your right heel to the ground, and then maybe bring your hands to your heart center. This is a half squat. Good, and then release. Plant both feet on the ground and return your hands back to center. Feet are a little longer than hip width apart. Your outer edges of the feet are parallel to the floor. Halfway lift here, back is straight. Place your hands onto your hips and then slowly lift your torso up. Engage your abs, engage your core. Good. Keeping your hands on your hips. Pivot your feet out to be 45-degree angle again. And this time you're going to bend into your knees, coming into a goddess pose. We're trying to stack our knees directly on top of our ankles, so make sure that they don't go over, and then sink your hips down into the mat. Eventually, our goal is to try to get our thighs parallel to the floor, but that requires a lot of strength and flexibility. So again, if you're not there yet, wherever you are, just enjoy and feel into your body. This is going to be a challenge no matter where you are. Inhale, breathe, stay strong through the legs. Option to bring the arms out, cactus arms. Inhale, and exhale to straighten out through the legs and release. From here, we'll bring our hands to the ground. Your feet can come in just slightly. And then we'll start to bend into each knee. So kind of like we were doing before, we're going to bend into each knee to get it warmed up. And then maybe as you do that, bring your heels closer in towards one another. Your heels are still a little bit farther than hip width apart, but now we're coming into Malasana, garland pose. Again, your heels can be lifted here as you are making your way down. Your knees are facing the same way as your toes, and they're facing out towards the sides of the room. You have the option to bring your hands up to heart center, lift them off of the floor. And if you do that, bring your elbows on the inside of your knees and actively press your legs in towards one another, in towards your elbows, and actively press your elbows out towards your legs, finding this active connection. From here, plant your left hand out, bring your left shoulder in towards your knee. So wherever that lands, just plant your left hand. And then inhale, option to lift the right hand up to the sky, connecting the ground to the sky. Option to bind around your left leg here. And if you do that, you can turn your palm to flip up, to face up, and then interlace your fingers behind your low back. Look up here. Great. And then release. Bringing your right hand, your right shoulder near your right knee, plant that hand wherever it falls, and then lift your left hand up to the sky. Inhale. Option to bind here. You can flip your grip upside down and then wrap it around your leg and bring your hand to meet. This is not accessible for everyone. And then release. Good. From here, we'll place our hands behind our hips and then sit our sitting bones down. And from here, you're going to send both of your legs straight out into a V. You can spread them as far as you can. Toes flex back. Press your legs into the mat. Your knees are slightly lifted as your thighs and your calves press into the mat. Keep your spine long. Inhale to reach the crown of the head up to the sky, creating length in the spine. Send your shoulders away from your ears. And then exhale to gently lean forward a little, keeping that straightness, keeping that length in your back. Lean forward with that. You can place your hands anywhere in front of you, onto your feet, but don't pull anything back. Your hands are just going to rest. Okay, good. And then release. Bring both legs in towards center, and you might have to pivot and just go on the long side of your mat if you just want to continue on your mat here. But your feet can be hip width apart or they can be touching. Again, your calves and your thighs are pressing into the mat so hard that your knees maybe lift. Press your heels into the mat and then flex your toes back. We're going to get long. Inhale, lift the arms up, slight bend in the knees here if you need to. And then exhale to lean forward with that length that we have. Your hands can fall anywhere. They can be on your thighs, on your shins or calves, or holding onto your legs. You might feel a stretch in the back of your hamstrings here. Inhale and exhale to maybe fold in a little deeper. And then roll back up. We're going to finish this off by coming into Baddha Konasana. So bring the soles of your feet to touch and let your knees fall wide. Don't push them down, just let them fall, let gravity kind of pull them down. And maybe bring your thumbs to the soles of your feet and start to massage your feet here. Inhale, reach the crown of the head up to the sky, shoulders away from the ears. Then exhale, option to lean forward, lean your torso over your legs. Inhale to come back up. Bring your hands to the outside of your knees and bring your knees in towards center. You can move up on your mat just a little bit and then slowly roll down to laying down position, supine. Your legs fall wide to either side of the mat. Let your toes fall wide. Nestle your shoulder blades underneath your heart space. Bring your palms to face up by your sides, or you can bring them to your stomach and your chest, your belly and your chest. Just take a few moments to feel into your body. Slow down your breathing and maybe return to your natural breathing. Relax the eyes, the jaw, the neck, the throat. Soften through the shoulders, the belly. And try to let go of any tension you might still be holding on to, either from your thoughts, from your day, or even from this practice. Take every exhale as an opportunity to release, and every inhale to bring in more relaxation, more love. And you can stay here as long as you'd like. Feel free to pause the video now. Otherwise, we'll start to move our fingertips, our toes. Start to blink your eyes open and take in the color of the sky, of your ceiling, of your home, of your studio, wherever you are. Bend both knees. Roll over to one side and then push yourself up with your top hand. And we'll finish this off by bringing our hands to touch and our palms to heart center. Close your eyes. And we'll finish off with one more big inhale all together. Inhale in through the nose and exhale out through the mouth. Open mouth, let it all go. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this is going to help you with your flexibility. Feel free to come back to this video as often as you'd like, or the poses as often as you'd like. I know I come back to them like almost every day and I'm still working on my flexibility. But if you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button. Leave me a comment and let me know what you guys think. And then don't forget to subscribe to my channel and turn on post notifications for new videos every Sunday. Thank you, and see you next time.